is good shot. Oh my!
Here to celebrate Georgetown, the Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
The Trenton Golden Hawks, the R7 Hewitt Cup champions, are going to Coburg.
Back to Minerva. Shot scores! And the Coburg Cougars are the Royal Bank Cup champions!
Well, the Oakville Blades have designs on making a long playoff run this year, but so do the Toronto Patriots. The two squads squared off Saturday night in an epic slugfest. More on that in a moment. This is the OJ Today. Welcome, everyone. I'm Alex Bastiavansky. Today, Jack McBain has received more attention than any OJHL player in years. He's been pegged as a possible first-round pick in this June's NHL draft. And we'll have a feature story on Jack later on in the show. Also, Aurora play-by-play man Kevin Dean will join me to speak about how the North Division is shaping up as the playoffs approach. But first, OJ highlights, and this was a highly anticipated matchup, as mentioned. Two teams that have jockeyed for first in the South all season long, the Pats and the Blades. And Saturday night, they squared off at Westwood Arena. OJ highlights now brought to you by Cool Sports, official apparel provider to the OJHL.
And this one definitely lived up to the hype. Back and forth the whole way. Oakville hitting first. Eric Uba from the top of the circle. What a shot. Blades lead 1-0 after just 3:16. Last minute of the first, however, Pats on the power play. Max Rutledge, what a pickup he's been since coming over from Mississauga. And it's tied 1-1 at the break. Second frame, Andrew Petrucci, edging ever closer to 50 goals on the year, puts the second effort in, and the Pats go up by a 2-1 count. Midway through the frame, though, Matt Hyami going for a skate, somehow slides it past Tyler Fassel, who might want that one back. Once again, all tied up, 2-2. 3 minutes later, though, Michael Bushi on the break here slides it back for Rutledge. Rutter with his second of the game. And it's the Pats up 3-2. Just 2:17 into the third. Bushi doing it himself this time. Knocks the second effort past Chris Elliott. Pats double their lead to 4-2. Then 3 minutes later, Elliott makes the original stop. Nobody watches Colton Kalizik out front. The future Northern Michigan Wildcat puts it home. It's a 3-goal advantage for Toronto. Blades would get one back. Matt Graham alone out front. Knocks it past Fassel. That made it 5-3. That's as close as they'd get, though. And with the win, the Patriots clinch the OJ regular season title. They celebrate on the ice with their fans, and then afterwards.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Let's go!
You know this guy? No, who is that guy?
Yeah, congrats to the Pats. Junior Canadians in Coburg, Jack McBain, top 5 nominee here. What a solo effort to put the JRCs up in the second period. And then just a minute later, it's Daniel Verdi with the backhander that beats Jorgen Johnson. 2-0 for the Junior Canadien. The Cougars claw back to within 1, though. Point shot stopped by Dalton Ewing. Mac Lowry, the Mac truck, cleaning up the garbage. 2-1 JRCs at the break. Third period, all Coburg. Jacob Black just plants himself out front, spins, fires it past Ewing, all tied up at 2 apiece. And then $1:30 later, Cats on the power play, Connor McEachern jumping on the loose puck. Coburg coming back from 2 down to take its first lead of the game. So many of these goals coming off scrambles out front. Lowry on the doorstep here. Nothing Ewing can do. That makes it 4-2 Cougars. They'd add one more to grab the 2 points. 5-2 final. Coburg, this is one team I wouldn't want to face in the playoffs. They are looking dangerous. Georgetown and Oakville, family day. 1,100 on hand. The Battle of Halton Region, it was a battle. Jeff Clark destroys Dominic Dumas. Jonathan Hampton comes in to complain. Clark smokes him too. No love lost between these two squads, I'll tell you. Raiders grab the only goal in the first. It's a softie. Josh Nixon from behind the net somehow sneaks it past Chris Elliott. G-Town, 1-0 lead after 20. Skip ahead to the third. Nathan Torkia, the story for the Raiders. 54 saves on the day, including those right there. He held the fort as long as he could. Finally, though, $1.58 remaining. Matthew Kellenberger, the snipe, goes bottle hunting to tie it. Sends this one to overtime where Torkia just continued to shine. One of the saves of the year here as he sprawls to deny the chance. Unreal save. But finally, the dam would break in OT.
Pike has the lead. The shot tipped. Scores! Holy jumping! The Oakville Blades win a thriller in overtime!
Yeah, it's a thriller, all right. The Blades send over 1,000 fans home happy. A reminder, voting for the Scotiabank Fan Favorite Award is on now. Top 10 vote getters so far: Jack Kabowski, Jackson Camp, Cal Walker, Jack Ricketts, Justin Paul of the Raiders, Ryan Bazana from Whitby, Max Hewitt from Trenton, Tiger McDonald from Trenton, Jonah Capriati, and Mitch Mendonca from Wellington. Those are your top 10 so far. Head to ojhl.ca to cast your vote for your favorite player. OJ commitments, 4 to tell you about. As mentioned, Colton Kalizic, standout this year. He's headed to Northern Michigan to be a Wildcat. And Dustin McFall, the great young D-man, heading to Clarkson to be a Golden Knight. Lee Lapid of the Pats heading to Canisius. And Zach Ewens of the Wellington Dukes. The D-man will be a Merrimack Warrior in 2021. OJ trivia this week. What season was Zach Hyman, the Maple Leaf now, named CJHL Player of the Year? First correct answer, R. Morocco at the ojhl.ca to win a prize pack.
Hey folks, welcome back to the OJ Today. So happy to be joined by our good friend Kevin Dean, the play-by-play man for the Aurora Tigers. Second time this year he's been on. And Kevin, welcome back, buddy. How's it going?
Great, Alex. I appreciate you having me on the air.
Excellent. We are down the stretch now. It's regular season pretty much at an end as we move into the last week. Some really exciting stuff that's been happening in the North Division. Just give us your brief synopsis from what you've seen down the stretch in the North.
Well, just Friday night's game against Newmarket and up at Aurora was unbelievable. And with Markham, Newmarket, and the Tigers battling for first, what a battle it's been. And we still got another week to go.
Amazing, isn't it? And you know what? Let's start with your Tigers because you mentioned a three-way battle that was basically going on all season long. Their Markham's dropped off a bit. We'll talk about that in a second. But your Tigers now have solidified themselves. They are going to win the North, and they are going to be the #1 seed in the Northeast Conference, which we certainly didn't think we were going to be able to say even about a month and a half ago. So great performance by Aurora heading down the stretch, hasn't it been?
Oh, it's been unbelievable. What a drive. What the players, the flu bug hit the team. They had brought up a lot of APs, and they still hung in there. They were like 18 to 20 points behind Wellington, and they made the move, and I'm so proud of the organization and the team. And now we're the #1 seed in the Northeast, and all led by Vince Bellissimo. Unbelievable job. And Dermot Anderson bringing the players in. And you just look at they're second in scoring in the league, second in the league in defense, goals against, second in the power play, second in the special teams, their penalty kill. They've got it. They've got everything there, and it's been a lot of fun.
They are going to be a tough matchup. There's no question about it. Newmarket was battling with them all season long. They would alternate in first place for a good portion of the time. As mentioned, Newmarket has fallen into second in the North. They are going to be, it looks like, the #3 seed in the Northeast. But the Canes also are going to be a very, very difficult playoff matchup, aren't they?
Well, I'll start with a coach, Thomas Millen. He is one of the best in the OJHL. He's won a national championship. They only give up 2.13 goals against. They're stingy. They've got some great players. Arillo, Ramsey, Donato, one of my favorite hockey players, lead the way. And last year, they built this team. And last year, when they finished that season against Trenton, which they should have maybe won that series, they have gelled this team, and they are a powerhouse going into the playoffs. They're going to, whoever plays them, they better have their A game.
Took it to 6 games against Trenton last year, which shocked a lot of people for sure. The blue and white, the Royals. So much promise this year for a good portion of the season, 2/3 of the season, really. This is not the way they want to enter the playoffs. I think it's fair to say they've lost 8 of 10 right now, and you really want to enter the playoffs with some forward momentum, don't you? And right now, this team is going backwards, it looks like.
Well, which is true, but Coach Galati, he's a great coach, and everybody stumbles, so you better stumble during the regular season, not the playoffs. They are a funny team. They're a run-and-gun team. They're led by Kadada, Jeffers, and Odeker, and, they score lots of goals, but they're 17th in the league, giving up 3.60. So they tighten that up. They're going to have whoever they play, they're going to have their hands full of Markham.
Yeah, definite firepower on that team. As mentioned, led by team captain Lucas Condata. You can never count out the Royals, and you're correct. Mike Galati does a great job. It was just kind of interesting to see them fade down the stretch a little bit there. Hopefully, over the last week of the regular season, they can kick it into gear, enter the playoffs on a high. The Pickering Panthers. What a great story the Panthers have been this year after missing the playoffs last year. They'll be back in this year. They might be able to climb even one more spot in their seedings. But boy, the Panthers have been a great story, haven't they?
Well, they just beat North York the other night. One of the hottest teams, like you said. They have been on a hot streak. We had our hands full when we play them this Friday. They played the Tigers tough. Each and every game has been a battle, and led by Josh Arger and Joey Franz, an unbelievable defenseman. His head is on a swivel all the time. One of the best in the OJHL. And the back end, their goaltender Langevin and Wisco are solid. And it's really nice to see them make the playoffs. And I see them start of the season playing exhibition games against Aurora. And I said, watch out for this team, guys, because they are one heck of a hockey team.
Absolutely. And what a great pickup Josh Arger was from Stouffville. You mentioned Arger, their team captain this year. Okay, so Lindsay and Lindsay and Stouffville, of course. Sorry, Stouffville, not forgetting about you. Unfortunately, both out in the playoffs this year. But you know what, Lindsay, for example, some positives to look at. I mean, they did have some big, out of the 8 wins they've got so far this year, 2 big ones over Wellington and Newmarket as well. So there is some promise on this team, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. You got some young players on that team. They bring the players back, both with Lindsay and Stouffville. And just look what Pickering and look what Aurora's accomplished. So you look at the organization and maybe they can clone Dermot Anderson, one of the best GMs in Canadian junior hockey. He's done a tremendous job, and the future looks hot. It looks bright. And I'll tell you one thing, the Buckland Championship for media goes to Stouffville because they got the best radio crew in the OJHL. The boys on Steam, they're the best.
Whistle Radio, great guys. Absolutely.
Whistle Radio, there we go.
Absolutely. 30 seconds. Your prediction as to who's going to come out of the conference, and is it going to be a team from the north?
Well, I'm biased, but the proof's in the pudding. Look at Aurora. Look at their stats. They are going to be tough to beat. They're going to open up against Trenton, who won the Dudley Hill Cup Championship last year. They're going to have their hands full. Trenton is a big team, but I like the Tigers to come out of the Northeast. My sleeper team, we just talked about the Pickering Panthers. They have got a young team. They got a great coach. And watch out for them. Whoever they play in the first round of the playoffs, they better have their A game.
I agree with you, and I'd also put my sleeper as Cobourg because they've been an entirely different team since bringing Jerome Dupont on, and they're going to be very, very dangerous in the playoffs. We've got to run. You and I are going to pick this up in a couple of weeks when we do a playoff review after the first rounders. So thanks so much for being here again, buddy.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay, more OJ Today coming up in just a moment. Hey folks, welcome back to the OJ Today. For most of the season, the thought that the Kingston Vs might be able to actually catch Wellington for first place in the East was laughable. The Dukes built a massive lead in the standings at one point, but a hot play by the Vs coupled with Wellington's struggles as of late meant that it was actually a possibility, albeit an unlikely one, heading into the last couple of weeks of regular season play. Regardless, the Vs wanted to keep their momentum going as they traveled across the border to face Buffalo.
And this one ended up being a thriller. Sabres strike first, 4:17 in. Eamon Bollinger stopped the first time, follows it up, jackpot. 1-0 for the Americans. Midway through the period, though, Colin Vanderherk, showing patience is a virtue, finally pulls the trigger, and that ties it up at 1 apiece. 3 minutes later, Austin Grzenia playing the bank shot off the boards to Adam Kim, who will convert, and V's are up 2-1 after 20 minutes of play. Skip ahead to the third now, 54 seconds remaining. Adam Tredowitz playing the hero for Buffalo as he bulges the twine and sends this baby to overtime. OT, though, did not last long. 7 seconds. Grzenia right off the opening faceoff saunters in. Trevor Withers might want that one back. That's your game as the V's take it 3-2 in Buffalo. The Dukes travel west to take on Whitby. Good start for Wellington midway through the first. Teddy McGean, some mustard on that wrist shot. 1-0 Dukes after 1. Whitby knots it up in the second, though. Matt Latin jumps on the errant puck out front here, and yeah, all tied up at 1 apiece. Wellington jumps back out front. McGean will steal the puck here, feed Jackson Arcan right on the doorstep, and it's 2-1 Dukes at the 4:55 mark. Back come the Fury, though. Greg Smith stopped. Latin follows up his second of the game. 2-2 after 40 minutes. Third frame, all Whitby. Liam Robertson sets the table and dines out on that fat, juicy rebound to make it 3-2. And then Robertson adds a second 5 minutes later off the mad scramble out front. 4-2, Whitby final. Wellington on a bit of a downer as the playoffs approach, as they've now lost 5 of their last 10 contests down the stretch.
Well, this is not the way the Markham Royals wanted to head into the playoffs. For much of the season, the Blue and White were challenging for top spot in the North. Lately, though, they've been in a free fall. They'd lost 8 of 10 and were trying to right the ship when they hosted Orangeville last weekend.
This wasn't what the Royals were hoping for, although the Flyers were pretty happy. Pick it up with Markham leading 1-0. Nate McDonald, the original stop. The Gooch. Nathan Gooch puts it home. All tied up at 1. Midway through the period, the immovable object out front, Lucas Candata, the captain, his hard work paying off. Royals retake the lead. Second period, they'd extend it 2-on-1. Alessio Luciani to Costa Nicolezus. 3-1 Royals, but that's when the wheels on the bus that go round and round fall off for the Royals. Vincent Bonaiuto pulls the Flyers to within 1. And then 3 minutes later, Flyers on the power play here. Eric Theander moves in and knots it up at 3 with the wrister. Oh my, the collapse. Third frame, they take control. 2-on-1. Evan Stoll to Rocco Andriacci. 4-3. They'd add one more to make it 5. Markham's woes continue while the Flyers celebrate. They clinch the 8th and final playoff spot in the Southwest. Okay, the Battle of Yonge Street, Aurora, Newmarket. Cats start things off with a beauty. Backdoor pass here from Tony Romano to Brock Welsh. That is sweet. Tigers out to the 1-0 lead. 7 minutes later, Joseph Mitzi coughs it up to Eric Aramita, who shelves it past Jack Irvine. Tie game. It's 1-1. Not for long, though. 1 minute 13 later, Tony Romano, roof daddy on the power play. Cats regain the lead. It's 2-1. Second period, they add to it. Zach Wilkie with the point shot, redirected by Brock Welsh, his second of the game. 3-1 Tigers. Then, late in the third.
Tigers. Welch has it. Welch brings it. It's got Bricknell. Bricknell fires. Sky. Nail in the coffin. They'll count it. That'll do it.
Nail in the coffin. Love those Kevin Dean calls. Aurora takes it 4-1. Okay, some news and notes. Patriots captain Andrew Petrucci hit a milestone last week. Here's how it looked and sounded.
It's over for Matthews, a big shot. Nice stop by Ponte. Back to Petrucci. Scores! 50 for Petrucci.
Andrew becomes the first 50-goal man since 2014-15. He was asked after if he thought during the season it would be a possibility.
I want to say maybe halfway through the season. At that point, I was, I think, a goal a game, so it started becoming a reality for me. Obviously, the beginning of the season, I didn't think anything of it, but I'd say halfway through the season started becoming a reality, and I'm really fortunate that I hit it tonight.
Yeah, congrats, Andrew. Mississauga Chargers owner Lloyd Stockley was awarded the OHL Crystal Puck Award before Saturday's game against the Junior Canadians. The award recognizes an individual or organization's outstanding achievements or contributions within the Ontario Hockey Association. Stockley was also inducted last year into the Mississauga Sports Hall of Fame in honor of his 40-plus years of involvement in hockey in the city. Congrats, Lloyd. Standings. North Division, Aurora has clinched the conference. Newmarket in second, Markham and Pickering, the other playoff teams out of the north. To the east, Wellington, only 4 points now. Their lead over Kingston, followed by Cobourg, and the Trenton Golden Hawks. Whitby now out of the playoff race. To the south, the Pats have clinched the overall OJHL championship, followed by North York, Oakfield, the JRCs, and St. Michael's. And in the west, Georgetown, big lead now over Buffalo, followed by the Flyers, who clinched the 8th and final playoff spot in the conference. Burlington and Milton out of it completely now.
Hey folks, welcome back to the OJ Today. Well, Jack McBain started out this season knowing that all eyes would be on him. The Junior Canadians forward was pegged as a possible first-round selection in this June's NHL draft, which means he's been under a microscope since the opening puck drop. McBain, however, has taken it all in stride. And we find out more about the uber-talented 17-year-old now in this week's Player Spotlights, brought to you by Cliff Bar, official energy bar and sports nutrition food of the OJHL.
Over to Jack McBain. McBain coming in looking for the Hattie. McBain right to the... Oh, Jack McBain! Oh, are you serious? Oh, my goodness, Jack McBain put it in the AGO. That was a masterpiece.
Yes, the Art Gallery of Ontario could be chock full of McBain masterpieces by the end of this season, but you can just head to a Junior Canadians game instead if you'd like to see him live. Jack McBain is a dynamic young forward who's taken the OJHL by storm the last 2 seasons. A unique talent who's been pegged as a possible first-round pick in this June's NHL draft.
You know, I think I'm a big 200-foot player that's strong in both zones and contribute offensively and defensively. I think I've got a pretty high IQ and I can make plays in both ends of the ice.
He brings an extreme compete level. He's first on the puck anywhere he goes. He goes in the corner and 9 out of 10 times he's coming out with that puck, no matter if there's 1 guy there, 2 guys there. He plays way ahead of his age. He's a man amongst boys in this league, and you can see it night in, night out. Never takes his foot off the gas pedal.
It's a 2-year thing, 2-year snapshot for me. When he came in at 17, he was quiet. Once he went to some of the Hockey Canada events, he started to become a vocal leader in our locker room. Probably more of a higher point total. But he buys into our system. He competes, he plays on the right side of the puck, winning face-offs late in games. He does all those little things that we ask him to do.
It's been quite the whirlwind year for McBain. Last summer, he was a key player on Canada's under-18 squad that captured gold at the Ivan Hlinka tournament. That boosted his stock with NHL scouts, who got to see Jack compete with and against the top players in his age group on the planet.
He showed at the Canada U18 camp that when he plays with some of the top players across the country there, he can really mesh and really make a line click. So we've got him in a range where we're telling the NHL clubs this is a good spot to think about him.
Fortunately, individually, I've had some opportunities with the Hlinka before the season started, and that was an unbelievable experience for me. Just playing with those guys and being able to represent my country at that level was unbelievable, and obviously taking home gold there was awesome. And then having another opportunity with the Team East for World Junior A's was really something special, being my 2nd year there. And
Jack can play that size strength game. He protects the puck very well, and when he's going hard on the play, he's a very difficult guy to check. He's got really good hockey sense and he's got a good finishing ability.
Jack had numerous options when it came to junior hockey. He's a first-round pick of the OHL's Barrie Colts, but would have had to give up his NCAA eligibility. McBain, instead, will head to Boston College next fall on a scholarship, and he chose to remain with the Junior Canadians in the OJ for his final junior year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a tough decision. I mean, I always kind of knew I wanted to go the college route, so I mean, you know, Barrie was a great option, but you know, just for me and my family, it didn't really fit. But last year I had a great experience here, and I really liked everything about it. You know, coaches were great and teammates were awesome, so I had a lot of fun and had a good year. And
every game, McBain is being closely scrutinized by numerous NHL scouts. Everything from the good to the bad is noted, and for Jack, it's an experience he's thriving on.
You know, I've tried to have fun with it. You know, it's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and just try to go out, have fun every game, and just kind of try to take it day by day and just see what happens. So yeah, it's been fun. I've always kind of been working on my skating. It's one thing, but I mean, more to that is just like the first 3 strides. I know I always kind of want to get off to a quicker start, and so that for sure. Obviously, my shot, you know, has been something I've been working on, and something I've been wanting to getting better over my career so far, and then just kind of filling out my frame and getting bigger and stronger so I can compete at that next level.
Hockey runs in the McBain family. Jack's father, Andrew, played 11 seasons in the NHL, and Junior Canadians head coach Jeff Angelides doesn't hesitate when asked where he sees Jack's hockey career heading.
Without a doubt, this is a long career in the NHL ahead of him. You know, where he fits in, where he sets in, you know, that'll be up to him and the work that he does at Boston College and preparing to get to that level and then the next level afterwards. But I have no doubts in my mind that he'll play in the National Hockey League and he'll have a lengthy career.
Yeah, Boston College is getting a heck of a player there. Okay, the top 5 brought to you by Chaos, official hat provider to the OJHL. Number 5, 50 for Petrucci. Andrew with the one-timer against Mississauga to give him 50 on the year. Congrats, Andrew. Number 4, the Battle of Yonge Street. Tony Romano, gorgeous backdoor pass to Brock Welsh as Aurora takes down Newmarket. Number 3, the man we were just talking about, Jack McBain, another incredible solo effort. And this is becoming a weekly occurrence for Jack in the top 5. Number 2, Battle of Halton Region. Oakville's Matthew Kellenberger, the gorgeous snipe to tie it in the dying seconds against Georgetown. Number 1, same game, Nathan Torkia, 54 saves on the day. This is the biggest as he stones the Blades from point blank range. That is beautiful, and it's your Chaos play of the week.
And we've got to run all out of time for this week, folks. But just remember to keep up to date with the OJHL, all your news, stats, standings, and stories. You can always head to ojhl.ca. And of course, you've got all your social media options there to check out as well. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next week.